Alright everyone, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is a 360 walkthrough of my one-bedroom apartment. The purpose of this walkthrough is to show people that you can have just as many things as you would in a two and possibly three-bedroom apartment in a one if you properly organize, and that's mostly what I'm going to concentrate on in this video. This is a 360 video, so feel free to look around with your phone any direction, or if you have VR, pop it in that. But again, it's just to give people some idea that you can save money if you're saving up for that house and living in a one-bedroom apartment versus having to live in a two. So as we walk in here, one of the first things I'm going to point out is this rack right here. Okay, so at first I was a little hesitant to get one of these, but make it look like a doctor's office, but it's actually very handy, so I don't have to have my jackets draping over chairs or anything like that. So yeah, I highly recommend getting something like this. Now down here, I have two different mats, as you can see, but this one in particular is quite handy if you have pets, or let's say you work outside, you got muddy shoes. This will knock off all the mud, and then it collects underneath, and you can just easily dump it, held on by Velcro. Very handy little item. Now, as far as over here goes, I'm old school and I like to have a hard copy of all my stuff. I still stream, but I still like the hard copies. So these are actually all my DVDs. I am kind of a super nerd and I categorize them and alphabetize them, but I highly recommend getting rid of the cases and putting them into these books. Saves a lot of space, and if you're worried that, oh, what if I have extra DVDs, just leave spaces in between each letter of the alphabet for growth. Also, I do still have some books, CDs, obviously, like I said, I'm kind of old school that way, but I still have all my stuff here. So plenty of movies to choose from if anyone would want to visit. Moving on over here, if you're also like me and like to work sitting down in a chair, so this is my computer station. Basically, this is where I'll write, I'll make music, I got my external hard drives, all that stuff all in one little corner here without having to sacrifice anything. I highly recommend a lamp like this. So extra light in the room, but also if you're just reading or whatever, you can just turn this one on and off and be able to have that extra light shining on whatever you're working on. I turn this into a touch lamp, which is very convenient. If you're laying down and you just want to reach behind you, you can touch anywhere on the metal and it turns on and off. So very convenient that way, and those are available at Menards fairly cheap. Now if anyone's in the market for a new coffee table, I highly recommend one of these that actually folds up, so it takes the place of many TV trays, and it is on wheels, so it's easily movable. Over here under this end table, I just have extra coasters and some electronic devices, so you got everything that you need in this area. Over here, I'm an old school gamer, so I have a lot of Nintendo games. I have a lot of Super Nintendo games and PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. So that whole section is organized and you got everything that you need for some entertainment there. Now, as you can see by this entertainment center here, I have an extra wide one, which I highly recommend because I was able to fit all four of my gaming systems right there. So a lot of them don't come that wide. I highly recommend if you're in the market for one to get one of those. And then I also have extra space here to store whatever I want. And as you can see, I had to install a selector box because I have a newer television. So all this does, you plug all like the old school games systems into here, and then you just select which one that you want to play. So very convenient, not a big deal, and they actually make ones that have remote control as well. As you also can see, I do have my speakers, and I do have a subwoofer over here, which I did put foam underneath the sub in order to not vibrate as much and disturb my neighbors, and be able to still have my full entertainment center for music, video games, and movies. And then what I also did is I installed this. So let's say if you're playing a video game and you don't really care about listening to it or watching the game and you want to listen to music, you can actually plug in your phone directly into that, listen to music off your phone while you're watching something else. Pretty cool. Over here I have the old school gaming section. So whatever your poison, if you like chess, poker, dice, darts, whatever the case may be, got you covered. So on one side I got the newer age electronic, and over here I got the old school. Now, moving into here, I'm not a big fan of cleaning, but it's got to be done, right? So over here I have my vacuum, floor cleaner, all my cleaning, and then making use of these nails, being able to hang everything. Everything has a place. And then I even have some old school board games, extra storage for extra heaters, fans, some extra tools, miscellaneous holiday things. Then the biggest thing about my bathroom is the organization that I have in my closet here. So as you can see, hopefully, I got extra storage for extra foodstuffs, my Kleenexes, soaps, medicines, all that in one nice little spot. So still able to have everything. As you can see, the bathroom is rather small, but you can still make it work. Into the kitchen area, you notice that this is also fairly small. But if you're like me and do like to drink wine here and there, and would like to be able to have friends come over, I highly recommend a wine rack that has extra glass holders, because I ran out of room in my cupboards. So I was only able to have a couple wine glasses. So I decided to get this, and it wasn't very expensive, and it looks pretty cool too. So I was able to kill two birds with one stone. If you're also in my situation and don't have a microwave installed on the wall, what I recommend is something like this. So you got extra drawers, sleeves that you can pull out, store all your lids, and that way you're just saving all the space that you actually have in the kitchen for your pots, pans, and cooking utensils. On the bottom shelf, I even have a spot for extra cards, popcorn dishes, chips, things like that for when I do have people come over. The kitchen, as you can see, is one of those corner kitchens, so very small. However, I tried to make the best use of the space. I installed one of these, very useful. All my metal utensils now go on here. All my plastic and wood would go here. So that way I can still keep everything that I have and not have to worry about lack of space. Put all my coffee and tea mugs here. If you're into coffee and tea, I highly recommend installing one of those. It looks nice and saves space. Now, I do like to cook, I have to admit. So here are some of the spices, but obviously, as you can see, it doesn't have room for everything. So what I did is actually I bought some of these. These are very handy. As you can see, you can hang extra spices there, and it doesn't take up any extra space. And I did the same thing over here. So even with all that, I have every utensil that you pretty much need, slow cookers, this and that, but the main items that I use most often are on my counter, and I still have counter space. And then I always like this thing just for a place to hang the oven mitts that are out of the way. But yeah, so even though I have this very rinky-dink kitchen, I have my own coffee bar and every utensil that I could possibly need or tool to cook whatever I want. Moving on to the bedroom. Pretty proud of this. I invested in this. Okay, so as you can see, I got one main dresser right here, but that doesn't have enough space for like quilts and extra bedding and winter clothes that I'm maybe not wearing right now that it's actually getting nice out again. So I bought this, and this actually has extra drawers that go all the way around. So it's like having a second dresser without taking up any more space. Over here, I highly recommend, because every apartment seems to have a switch that'll be controlled by the actual light socket. So I got that lamp and that lamp control with that. And let's say I'm lying in bed and I want to read a book or whatever the case may be, I can control this one manually. So depending on what you want to do. Also, this bed set also includes, as you can see, extra storage here. So if you want to do a little decorating, or if you want to have a Bluetooth speaker, as you can see, it makes room for all of that. So I really love this thing, I really do. And a lot of what people want these days is a little office area. I know I do, but I didn't have the space for a full desk. So what I did is I found online this bad boy. You basically just mount it, and then you can put any size laptop that you want in it. As you can see, I bought the one with the biggest screen possible so I can use it for school. I have my paper shredder right here, and then I have my wireless keyboard right over on wireless keyboard. I have my wireless printer scanner copier over there along with the file cabinet. Now I wanted a chair that folded down, but I still wanted it to be comfortable. So after doing some searching online, this is extra thick padded, and it folds down, or you can actually fold it straight up. But either way, takes up minimal space and you still got your full-blown office area. Now, sometimes at night I like to watch a little TV as I fall asleep. So I found a way to install a mini DVD player and another old school game system. And again, using a selector box, I can control both of them and use which one that I want. So if you're happy just settling for like a 32-inch, that's all I need. So it all fit. Now another thing I oftentimes wanted in a 2-bedroom apartment was a little workout area to work out at home. So I found this online. This bad boy, as you can see, is holding two 70s, two 60s, a 50 and a 40-pound dumbbell, and it's still not even near capacity of what it can hold. So it was not very expensive and takes up very little space, as you can see, and that allows me to still have space for if I ever try out yoga, I'm ready to go. And then I also have all my other sporting equipment. I'm used to be a big athlete and still like to play once in a while, so I like to have all my stuff readily available. Onto the closet. Now, if you're like me and you use a lot of ties for work or whatever the case may be, I highly recommend getting one of these. Doesn't cost very much, doesn't take up much space, and as you can see, spins, keeps them all organized for you. I kind of went with the whole route of work, spring, and winter clothing. And then down below, I still have room for all my shoes. Actually, I have this little sit-up machine here for working out as well, an extra fan, my laundry baskets. And up here, you may be thinking, well, I got tools. Well, so do I. I got plenty. Drill, you name it. Lots of hand tools, all ready to go right here, not taking up much space. And in here I have extra cords, like HDMI cords, electrical outlet, things like that. And then up here I got all my luggage. So if I go on a trip or just out for a weekend or want to bring my laptop with me, I'm all set in one spot there. Here, I do like to feed the birds. I don't know if you noticed that one eating from the bird feeder I have over there, but keep my extra stuff there, extra decorations, things like that. So, as you can see, even though it is a small space, but I have everything that I could possibly want. Again, obviously I'm a bachelor, so I mean, I can do that as I please. But one thing I'll say is another advantage, not only for the less money, because I don't like to pay for heat. So I go to places with free heat. That's a boiler system because they have no way of regulating how much water you're using, so they can't charge you for it. But then in those cases, you don't get central air. And if you're like me and have had a 2-bedroom apartment in the past, and you were never able to get that second bedroom to be cool, that was my experience. With a 1-bedroom apartment, you don't have to worry about that. Just have the air blow, fan right there, boom. One air conditioner will cool your entire place. So you don't have to worry about not being able to sleep in your room because it's so hot. So that's another big advantage to having a 1-bedroom over a 2. Now, I hope this video has been somewhat informative. Like I said, feel free to look around. If indeed you like the decorating, feel free to ask questions. But I could go on and on just about the decorating here, but mostly right now, I figure everyone's taste is different. So I hope everyone found this to be somewhat informative, and thanks for watching.